Hi, I'm Becky Streepy from Glue and Glitter, and today we're making vegan pimento cheese jalapeno poppers. Y'all, these jalapeno poppers are spicy and creamy and crunchy, and I cannot wait for you to eat them. The filling is my pimento cheese, which if you watched the recipe a couple of weeks ago, you know is super easy to make. So we're gonna start by making a half batch of that pimento cheese, then we're gonna stuff the jalapenos, top them with panko breadcrumbs, and bake them to perfection. Let's do it! Start by adding 4 ounces of vegan cream cheese to a large bowl and just set that aside to soften while you prepare the rest of the ingredients. Now grab your blender and add 1 ounce of drained pimentos. That's half of a 4-ounce jar. Usually a 4-ounce jar is the smallest amount of pimentos that you can buy. Don't worry about finding pimentos at the store. It's totally easy. If you've never looked for them before, they're usually alongside either the pickles or the canned vegetables, depending on what grocery store you're at. Now add a clove of garlic to the blender and just puree that up until it's as smooth as you can get it. This is a very small amount of food to put in the blender, so it's not gonna get as smooth a mixture as if you'd put more stuff in there, and that's totally fine. You're mostly going for like a minced situation, especially the garlic clove. Now transfer that pimento mixture to your bowl of cream cheese and then add another ounce of pimentos, a cup of vegan cheddar shreds, 2 tablespoons of vegan mayo, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper, and a teaspoon of your favorite hot sauce. Mix that all up really well until you have a nice even mixture, and then stick it in the fridge to chill while you prepare your peppers for the oven. As you can see, the jalapenos that I'm using for this recipe are enormous. That's just the size that my grocery store always seems to have. If you have normal sized jalapenos, you'll probably need more. I would go with double the amount and just keep on stuffing until you run out of mixture. To prepare your jalapenos for stuffing, slice them lengthwise so that you have 2 little boats, and then you're going to scoop out the seeds to make room for the filling. If you want less heat in your finished product, you can also use your spoon to scrape out that little vein that runs down the middle of the inside of each jalapeno half. When we're talking about the spiciness of a hot pepper, we usually talk about the seeds, but those little veins actually hold a lot more heat than the seeds even do. Now you're ready to stuff, so grab that pimento cheese out of the fridge and then scoop it up by the teaspoon and fill up your little jalapeno boats with pimento cheese. Make sure when you're filling these that you do not overfill them. You don't want like a rounded top of cheese. The cheese is going to melt in the oven, and this filling is soft, right? It's not just cheddar, it's cream cheese, it's mayo. All of that is going to soften a lot in the oven, so you want your boats to have either a flat or even a little bit underfilled on the top. Otherwise, when they're baking, they're just gonna overflow and make a big mess all over your baking sheet. Now put that panko into a shallow bowl and grab one of those stuffed jalapeno halves and dunk it into the panko, and you want it to be cheese sized down, and just kind of press it gently, and when you flip it back over, you'll see that panko has stuck to the cheese, and that's exactly what we want. Since we're not deep frying these, we're not gonna fully batter them. The panko is gonna give you that crunchiness that you expect from a jalapeno popper without having to deep fry or without even having to make a batter. Once all of your jalapenos are stuffed and coated, it's time to bake. You're gonna bake these at 400 for 20 to 25 minutes. And really that's up to you, and it really depends on the size of your jalapenos. My giant jalapenos took 25 minutes to start looking cooked in the oven. If you have smaller ones, you might just need to do 20 to get them to cook. What you don't want is like a crunchy raw jalapeno, right? You want these to come out kind of roasted and softened a little bit. When the pan comes out of the oven, I recommend not serving these right away. The filling is going to be really soft right away, and if you let these sit for even just 5 minutes, they'll firm up a little bit. They'll be a lot easier to grab and eat. Normally I like a dip with my jalapeno poppers, but the pimento cheese filling in these is just so flavorful. I find that they are delicious just on their own. If you have leftovers, store them in an airtight container, and then you can reheat them in a 350-degree oven for 10 minutes. I hope that this video has answered all of your questions about how to make these jalapeno poppers. If you have any questions I didn't address, feel free to drop a comment. I'm always happy to help. And don't forget to rate and subscribe. Happy cooking!